of introduction, President Shannon has agreed to come talk to all of you all today as a chance to kind of introduce himself to you if you haven't had a chance to meet and see and hear from him. We had asked him to come talk a little bit about, given all of his different experiences in academia, in the service, in government service, since that's what a lot of our majors are looking towards and focused on, just to give you kind of his perspective on what life might look like for a PSIA grad after school and kind of some of what you can do. So hopefully he'll have some time for some questions, but I'll turn it over to him and let him go. President Shannon.
Yeah, it's good to see everybody. Hey, is everybody, it's like, are you all socially distanced or you just don't like each other? We're a little bit of both.
We never really got out of COVID.
Yeah, I know. Social distancing. Yeah, that happens when we lock you in the closet for 2 years, right? As a teenager. I got it, yeah. I've got kids your age, so I know. Well, thank you for giving me a few minutes. It's good to see everybody. Who is from somewhere besides Georgia? Kinda? Okay, where's your kinda?
I was born in Houston, Texas, and I lived there for 11 years before moving.
And now you're a recovering Texan, right? Yeah. We rescued you, by the way, so that's very good. Who else?
I've lived in Georgia for 8 years now, though, but I was born in Virginia.
So that's a little better than Texas, but Virginia, okay. The Commonwealth of Virginia, very good. Did you have your hand up?
Yes, I was born in China and adopted out to Georgia.
Fantastic. Wow, you have great stories out there. Kind of. Do you remember, Shannon?
No, I was 15 months when
I remember everything when I was 12 months. What's wrong? Yeah, I know. I'm cool like that. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. Well, that's great. So, who is from South Georgia? How far south? That's South Georgia. And you have a beach, sort of, kind of.
Yeah, I'm 30 minutes.
You have to go out to the island. But,
Yeah.
But, okay, who else? South Georgia. Come on, you guys are boring. Everybody's from like here?
Yeah.
All right, you're all locals, okay. All right, who has ever been to another country? Well, that's good. That's good. We got somewhere to start. How many of those were not Canada or Mexico? Another country, not Canada or Mexico. All right, good. Because I don't count Canada and Mexico. They're too close. That's not a real travel. That's not real travel. All right, very good. All right, I was just kind of had to get a feel for the crowd. So you all want to be political science majors, or you're thinking. Some of you are thinking about it, or you're exploring it. So let me just give you my perspective. So first of all, thank you for having me, and I'm honored to be here. And hopefully you invite me back after this is not maybe I'll never get invited back again, but that's okay. Let me just share a couple of ideas, and then I'd be happy to answer any questions. I've had a really amazing journey, and I had no idea. One of the things I want you to leave with is you have no idea where this journey is going to take you. You have no idea. And if you sit in these chairs and think you do, you're either a lunatic or a fool, because you have no idea, and I mean that with all due respect, because you have no idea where your journey is going to take you. And that should be exciting to you, because your journey will give you opportunities to explore things. You know? So the first thing I would share with you is especially as you think about this area, the nation needs you. We need good people of high character that want to take on the work of our social constructs, our community constructs, right? Because America continues to be an experiment, right? And as an American, everybody's an American here, right? So make sure. As an American, you come, you're a great story of coming from another country. And as an American, you have the opportunity to share that construct with other people, that experiment, right? Nothing about America is figured out. It is still going on. By the way, your faculty are going to teach you all about this over the course of your time in these courses and in this program. And that's what's exciting. It's also what's terrifying. Because at the basis of all of this is humanity. Right? And humans have a great way of making things better and also messing everything up. Is that fair? And so, one of the things is there's nothing absolute. Now, there are some moral absolutes, and depending on how you believe, you may have some moral absolutes. I have a certain belief system, so I believe in some moral absolutes. But really, this journey is not very well defined. Now, there's some physical absolutes, right? So we're all standing here now and not floating around because of a physical absolute called gravity, right? I'm thankful for that. It'd be a bad day if we started off floating around. It'd be a really bad day. And so when you jump down off of something, you land, and that's a good thing. So that's a physical absolute. But in most cases, the experiment that is America is not an absolute. And so what happens? People get together and work on these constructs. And then it all gets boogered up, right? It's all a big mess, right? That's probably one of the things you can take away already from what you've learned here through high school, going all the way back. That's what you've learned. And so we've gotten a lot of things right, and we've gotten a lot of things wrong. But at the end of the day, this nation has done a lot of really incredibly good things and gives people opportunity. I don't believe in challenges. People say, man, we have issues. We have challenges. No, I believe we have opportunities. And that's what America affords us. So that would be my first reflection to you, is opportunity. So you're looking at a kid from New Jersey. Don't hold it against me. Whoever's judging me over here, I saw the look on your face over here. Don't make fun of me. Okay, I am a Yankee. All right? But I'm a kid from New Jersey who came from a broken home where nobody went to college. And I was able to, through the Army, so I can relate a lot to the cadets, have an opportunity to go to college. And I got to go away. And I went from New Jersey to Arizona to go to college. So y'all that live in Cumming with me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking with you. I'm joking. I had to get into an airplane and go to college. By the way, you didn't go home for the weekends. You went home at Christmas. And so, and that changed my whole perspective. Because a lot of the kids I went to school with were from California. It's very different there. And other places. And so I got to learn and experience. That'd be one of the things I would encourage you to do, is I know there's comfort in there's comfort in interacting with people who are like you, but I would encourage you to interact with as many people who don't look like you as possible. You will learn a lot. You will be able to operate inside of this experiment. And so, yeah, my journey's crazy. I'm not here to tell you my story. I'm just here to share that this is an area that we need great people that are value-centered, that think creatively and innovatively about the challenges ahead of us as this experiment continues. And so some of us that have, 5s and 6s in front of our ages are counting on you all that have 1s and 2s in front of your ages to take this on and continue this work. It's really important work. I need you to do this for my grandkids that aren't here yet. And your kids that are not here yet. And your families that are not here yet, that you're going to build and create over the next several years. We need good people to do that. We need good people to take on the experiment. It's an experiment, folks. It's not great. We don't have kings here. We don't have royal blood. We don't have royal tradition. Other places do. And good or bad, this country is a place of opportunity. so that a kid like me can go to college and someday become a university president. Is that fair? I'm serious, yo. I'm serious. This wasn't like something I ever thought about. When I was your age, I wasn't thinking about none of this. Trust me. And so the journey has enabled me to do that through experience. And the opportunity I had was through the military. So the military is an easy way to do this, to get perspective, because you don't get to vote. They just tell you where to go. They're like, oh, we got a great deal for you. You're going to move here. And you're like, wow, that's awesome. Ooh. What do? They send a little truck, they pack up all your stuff, and they move you. And then so you're forced to do that. And so I got to do that all across the United States and all across the world. And it was the best, some of the best experiences I've ever had in my life, especially living overseas. When you get perspective, you all know this that have been on the trip over there. Y'all that raise your hand about overseas, it's different, right? It's different. And there's good different, there's bad different, but it's different. And so that gains you perspective. And I would hope it gains you empathy. Folks, we got to be empathetic. There's a lot of people who need value-oriented people to help them through their challenges. Because a lot of parts of the world don't believe the same things we believe in. We believe it's okay to get up and do whatever you want. There's not a lot of places like that in this world. There's some, but not a lot. We believe that you can start a business if you want to. We believe that you can go to college if you want to. We believe that you can pursue a passion that you want to. That's not the case in a lot of places. Well, Dr. Shannon, how do you know that? I've lived in a lot of places. I've worked in a lot of places. I've seen poverty. I'm talking about poverty and strife. And unfortunately, I've had to see people die. And it's a very complex environment. But what you do is you realize the opportunity you have to help that. Why are you University President, Dr. Shannon? Because I want to help people like you pursue your dreams, pursue your passions. All of us are created for something. It's a purpose. And all you do while you're here is you figure out how to equip yourself to walk towards it. Don't get all hung up. Now, the professors are going to get mad at me. Don't get all hung up in all this stuff. Learn. Learn how to think. Learn how to explore. Learn how to ask questions. Learn how to how to draw inspiration from the things that make you alive. If you run into me and you start talking, that's what I'm going to ask you. I'm like, what makes you alive? Because that's what the world needs. The world needs people that are made to feel alive by their what they get to be a part of. Now, unfortunately, we have this thing called politics. You ever heard of it? Yeah, political science, politics. I think my teammates are teaching about that. The challenge with that is power is contagious. Power is it's addictive. It's addictive. Oh, you mean if I do that, people are gonna be really nice to me? Yeah, they are. But then they're gonna want something. And the want something may not align with the way you believe, the way you feel. And then you start to get into compromise. And that's the challenges with our system, right? You ever heard of Washington, D.C.? It's full of this stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. I spent a lot of time in Washington, D.C. There's a lot of great people who do a lot of great things there. But there's also a lot of people who do a lot of not so great things there. And so that's a part of this dynamic as well. But you have options, right? You don't have to be a part of that and still be a very effective community leader and builder. One of the things that I'm very excited about here in your program and some of the others is the ability to make that accessible at scale to you and the students who will come after you. I believe there's a need for people to be able to operate at all levels. From local, like you could go work in the city of Cumming or the city of Dahlonega or the city of Gainesville, all the way to international. And I believe there's opportunities across that. And how do you become effective in that? Yes, you got to understand some theory. Yes, you got to understand some formalisms, but how do you become effective in that? Learn how to talk to people. You look people in the eye. You have conversations with people. You communicate with people. You share with them. You understand where they're coming from. You understand what makes them tick. That's the problem with most people. Most people make judgments and they have no idea what you think or what you think now, or sir, or ma'am. If you ever come to a meeting with me, I'll stop you and say, what do you think? Most people look at me like, what do you think? Tell me what you think. Imagine that, right? And so that's what I'm excited about as we continue to work around here. Now, some of you are going to graduate. I see my friend Maddox in the back, going off to law school. I still don't understand that, Maddox, but I will not hold it against you. Then there's this thing called being a lawyer. You ever heard of that? Oh, I know. He's one of them. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. But I'm hopeful that we can do that. Studying a language, building skills that you can use to be more effective and more able to communicate is what I believe is the key. All right? None of this, my faculty teammates are going to get mad at me, none of this is complicated. You will learn fundamentals while you're here, but don't believe that most decision makers in most of this experiment, learned all this. They learned it through experience and interaction and learning and building and being knowledgeable. Now you got to study. You have to understand the situation that the opportunity. Remember, it's not a challenge. It's not an issue. It's an opportunity. You have to be able to look at the data. You have to be able to immerse yourself in it and understand it, and then form an opinion and be able to go after it. But the problem is people already pick sides before they even start, right? Because it's this side or that side, or it's this perspective or that perspective. And the value you will bring is if you are able to operate in that with the greatest amount of flexibility. It's very difficult in our system today. I don't think it's lost, but I think it's very difficult. Is America dying as an experiment? No. I think it's only just beginning. You wouldn't be here probably if you were in another country. The chances of you being here are not as high because of the way those structures and those frameworks operate. So that's what I've learned over the last couple of decades of being around different places and doing different things and working on solving problems. And let me just re-clarify a couple of things I said. You have to get through your political science program. You have to do incredibly well in your courses. They will prepare you to be able to think through these problems. They will create frameworks and analytical structures and the ability to be able to make assessments and the ability to be able to collect data and analyze it and understand it. So don't misconstrue what I said. Oh, the president said I'm not. No, I didn't say that. Well, what's just as important is your ability to be able to communicate and interact and talk to people and build relationships. What's the greatest superpower you have in this space, in community building, in political science, in this space? Relationships. It's everything. Doesn't matter how smart you are. Doesn't matter if you've got some, financial advantage. It's, are you able to build relationships with people? Build trust, right? What's the key to a relationship? You're more likely to tell somebody something if you trust them. And then you can work together. And so that's what I would encourage you to work on as well while you're here. This is free practice. Nobody's keeping score. Learning how to build those muscles. It's kind of like going to the gym, right? You're building those up so that we can get out into those spaces. Listen to me. America needs you. I need you. I'm about to be at the back side of this. You're on the front side of this. We need you to get involved in this and get after it and work in it and get passionate about it and solve it. Or solve the opportunity. Remember, there's not a challenge or an issue, there's an opportunity. So that's what I would share with you. I don't know if that was very profound. I don't even know if that's what you wanted to hear. That's my perspective. I mean, I could tell literally war stories all day. I could talk about living in the Middle East. I could talk about being in Europe. I could talk about living in Asia. I could talk about, I don't know, that might be boring to you. But these are the things that I've taken away from. Because at the end of the day, we're all human beings. No matter where you come from, what language you speak, what you look like, we're all human beings. And the key to all of this is humanity. It's a humanity thing. Well, sheesh, President Shannon, I thought it was political science, not psychology. Well, there's a lot of psychology in this. And realizing that everyone is inherently wired differently, right? We all show up differently because we're inherently wired differently. Anybody ever take Myers-Briggs? Yeah. We're all wired differently, right? You ever take one of those with one of your friends and you're like, holy cow, you're weird. And your friend's like, no, you're weird. And then you both realize, no, we're both weird. We're both different because of the way we're innately wired through our humanity. And so if you can relate to that goes a really long way. Questions. Give me hard questions. I got 10 minutes for hard questions. We can talk about sports. We can talk about, I love sports, by the way. We can talk about anything. Hard questions. Yes, sir.
So, given this state budget and what they've passed recently, what kind of impact is that going to have on UNG next year in terms of?
Gosh, he went right in for the kill, didn't he? Let me tell you a couple of things. And everyone's from Georgia now. We're all Georgians. So here's my perspective. And again, this isn't. I have zero agenda. We live in a really great state. I've lived all over the country. Again, remember, they like show up with a truck and they pack your stuff. By the way, to the cadets, they like go into your house and they pick up your stuff and they move you. Now that sounds great, but there's been a few times that I didn't want to do that. So we live in a great state, a state that's highly resourced. We've had surplus years in the last couple. Georgia's had surplus years in the last couple of years. Georgia really resources higher education. How many have heard of the Hope Scholarship? I hope a lot of you are on the Hope. There's that pesky little 3.0 thing, right? Hopefully that's not a barrier. Hopefully you're getting after that, all right? But the Hope Scholarship is one example. The fact that our tuitions are very affordable. I know people get sometimes frustrated about some things around here. Believe it or not, we have to pay some bills. Anybody been to Chick-fil-A lately? It costs a lot to buy the number one with the fries, right? It's more expensive. By the way, it's gone up 20% in the last 2 years. No, this is not my stuff, this is theirs. All I know is it costs more to buy the number one, man. And I have kids, so it's like number one times like a couple. Yeah, it's a lot. They give you more sauce for free though, so just get more sauce. So that being said, we're still incredibly affordable. So the question is how does that relate to us? We're in a really good place. This is a great university that has a lot of opportunity to grow, and that's what I'm working on. So I got here in July, many of you know. Been here now, I'm still my rookie season. So this is starting my 9th month. And so what I see is a university that's just very, very postured for the opportunity to grow. And it's not just in students, it's not about more students, it's to grow in impact. And when you grow in impact, then you have opportunity to get more resources. Now there's models of the way this is done. The best we can do is retain all of you, so none of you leave. You all need to stay. And I hope you feel like this is a place where you want to be, and you want to stay, and you feel valued, and you feel like your faculty are taking care of you, and you feel like the rest of us are taking care of you. And if you don't, please tell somebody so we can work on it. All right? And then the other opportunity is to get more students to come. And as we do that, we can build resources to continue to grow. We're in okay shape. The next 6 months is very important for us as we go into the fall semester here at the University of North Georgia. And so, but we have a lot of opportunity. And our other campuses have tons of opportunity. And many of you may not have experience on the other campuses, but there's cool stuff going on at every one of our campuses. But the state does invest in higher education. There's a lot of states that do not. Look at Colorado. Just give you one example. Go look up Colorado and how much money the state gives to its institutions. And look at the cost of going to a school in Colorado. It is double what you pay because the state doesn't give them any money. I'm sure you're making that up. I am not. It's a fact. Go look it up. I just give you that as one example. I'm not beating up Colorado. I'm just giving you an example. More questions? Yes, sir.
Why isn't there more community involvement in our departments, sir? I've noticed that. That's not explicitly promoted. We were just talking about politics. Well, I mean, that's if that's our job, then we need to be involved with the Lumpkin County community, correct?
Absolutely. I mean, I think there's opportunities. I think they would welcome student involvement. Me talking to the county and the city, and even in other communities. I mean, Gainesville's another one. I mean, we're UNG students. You're UNG students, so we could be involved across the board. So if that's something that you guys want to do, I encourage you to do it. And if you need my help, I'll go call Mayor Taylor right now and say, hey, students want to get involved. They would love that.
Yeah, I was just curious as to why it's not promoted more. You know, that go great strides to increase it.
So I'm promoting it now. So there's no reason to hold you back, and let me know what your big ideas are. There's some work in the cadets side to do some of this as well. Army calls it civil affairs, but the cadets are working on it as well, and I think it's cool. I think it's exciting. The energy will be helpful. What else? Yes, ma'am.
Is UNG moving away from tenuring professors?
Nope. No, I'm not trying to be coy. No, seriously, no. That is the magic of what we do, what our faculty get to do. There has been some changes in the last couple of years by the Board of Regents. So, really quick lesson. This is a political science group. You like structures. So, the university system of Georgia, it's 26 institutions. Georgia Tech, UGA, North Georgia, on down the line. Governed by a Board of Regents. Board of Regents are appointed by the governor. Board of Regents over top of the university system has a chancellor. Our chancellor now is a guy named Sonny Perdue. He was a two-time governor. So those of you who grew up around here a long time, he was your governor about 12, 15 years ago for two terms. And so that group has decided to look at post-tenure, beyond tenure, and they have looked at post-tenure review. So our faculty who continue to do great things just get looked at every couple of years for what they've been continuing to do. Are they teaching? Are they involved with y'all? Are they doing service? Our faculty kill it here. You ever heard of Dr. Wynn? Anybody know who Dr. Wynn is in history? Anybody? Come on. I know my colleagues do. Dr. Wynn just wrote a book on Elvis. It is awesome. It's the story of Hound Dog. I should have brought it with me. Yeah. Dude sits right over here. I mean, this is the kind of stuff our faculty do. And that's just one example. Our faculty are doing that stuff all the time. So that's what they do to continue to move forward in their careers and inspire you. Main thing is we want our faculty to inspire you. Because they see you every day. I don't. They don't let me in. They don't let me do this very often. They keep me in a room somewhere. Is that fair? Yeah. No, we're not getting rid of tenure. I like tenure. I think it's great. Yes, ma'am.
Given the recent business building and then now the drill field enhancements, is there any plans to make a dedicated area or a dedicated building for political science, international affairs, security study students, or Or we just hop around?
You want a building, don't you? Yes. So let me just share one fact with you that no matter what I said right now, and if I had the money right now, it's still going to take time. So you would be graduated, but you just care about those coming behind you because you're just about legacy, aren't you? The answer is yes, yes. So we are working on 3 buildings that'll be around the drill field. One of them is in design now, called the Military Science Center. It was half funded by the state, half funded by philanthropic. People gave money, lots of money. We had some donors give $1 million. Wish I had $1 million. I didn't need it. So that'll go first. The 3rd building in that series is going to be called the National Security Center. And there'll be a big footprint of political science in there. The question is when. It's not if, it's when. I'm hopeful that comes in the next couple of years. It's going to be spectacular. So it's going to be over south of the library. So everybody knows where that little parking lot is south of the library. It's going to be in that area over there. It's going to be high. It'll have a great view. It's going to be spectacular. You'll miss this place though, won't you? Young Hall. It's awesome. What else? It's a great question. We're working on it. We're working on it.
Anybody that has class, by the way, feel free to duck out. We don't have to
I could stay for a couple more minutes. By the way, the drill field is exciting. Let me just say a couple of things about the drill field, just to make sure we're on the same page. President Shannon never said you're not allowed on the drill field. I've never said that. Let's make that clear. Tell your friends. All right? I have never said that. And if you hear somebody tell you that, you need to tell me, because I have never said that. What I have said is the drill field is very special for this university. And so we want to honor it in a very specific way. So we had a donor who gave us money, which we were able to do what we're doing out there now. That was 100% paid for by donor funds. That was not your tuition. That was not state by law. They wouldn't let me do that. But it doesn't work that way. I just can't say, oh, I've got money, let me just go buy stuff. It doesn't work that way. There are rules. And so that is 100% funded by a donor. What happens with a donor? They come along and say, hey, here's this money, I want you to do this with it. And literally this donor said, I want you to make enhancements to the military facilities at Delaware. So that's where that came from. When it's done, we're going to clean up the grass. The grass is a hot mess right now. One of the things I'm really excited about, can I tell you, we discovered something a couple months ago. Gold. That if you water grass, it grows. Isn't that amazing? This is like fire. So I'm sorry. So we never watered this grass. We've been here for 150 years. And so sometimes in the summer that drill field gets pretty brown. Why? Because we don't water it. Because like right now it's raining like 6 inches every day, but in July, as you all know, it doesn't rain around here ever. And so we added in the water to keep the grass nice, so that all of you guys can use it and we can still keep the grass nice. You can do both. Now I can't have you out there in your four-wheeler mudding in the middle of the drill field. That's not helpful. But if you guys want to get out there and throw the ball and play wiffle ball and run around and choke each other, whatever you want to do, just keep it legal. Wrestling matches, I don't know. But I'm really excited. So the drill field's going to be done the middle of April. They're freaking out, by the way. If you go watch the guys doing the work, they're like freaking out because it's like the music from Jeopardy. You all need to move here, but they are going to get it done, and it's going to be really cool. And you guys can use it, hang out. By the way, there'll be benches. Everybody got mad at me when I got rid of the benches. I did get rid of the benches. You can blame me, but we're going to have really nice benches. There's going to be a plaza, and you can hang out. You can have lunch, and you can take pictures, and you can bring your family when they come and take cool pictures and do stuff. It's going to be fantastic. But thanks, sorry, you said the drill field, so I wanted to share with you. We're really excited about that. We're working on some other projects on some of the other campuses too. If you don't know, we just started building our second building in Blue Ridge. If you've never been to our Blue Ridge campus, it's pretty cool. So we just built that. The expansion of our coming campus is growing. Don't forget, we have 5 campuses. So I'm the president of the university, which has 5. So I am going 1,000 different ways all the time. One more question, I'll let you guys out of here. One more, come on. Yes, ma'am.
What does the future of graduate programs look like at UNG? Are they towards more on-person or more online? And then with that, with 5 campuses, what does that look like? Are you prioritizing the Monica as non-residential campus? I don't know, what does that look like?
That's a great question. I didn't know there would be so many UNG questions. I thought you were going to ask me about world peace. So I'm good. I was all nervous. Like they asked me to come talk to political science. I thought you were going to talk about like the United Nations or something. All right. So let me start with the back, and I'll come forward. So you all are here, right? You all are here. What do you know about here? We're bursting at the seams, right? And housing here is like miserable, right? There's nowhere to live, right? And so especially when it comes to residence halls and just in the community. So we're working on that. That's one priority. Again, this is like your question. This will happen for your friends who come in a couple of years because I just don't do this stuff overnight. So we're working on that. The second thing we're doing is we believe that Gainesville should be a residential campus. And if you all haven't spent any time over there, go over there. Now, the first thing you're going to see is it's kind of boring. I'm just being real. Like, there's not a lot to do there. And I get it. Like, that was my first impression. I'm like, oh, this place is great, but like, what do you do? Like, there's nothing to do. So that's what we're working on. We got to make it more accessible, and we got to make it more fun. And so we're working on that right now. I think you're going to see housing get started over there in the next year or so. That's what I'm working on right now. And if you'd like to pay for it, I'll give you my business card, and we'll have a meeting, and I'll buy you lunch. Because it's very expensive. And so that's what I'm working through now. How do you pay for it? Online. Online's critically important. I think online in the graduate school area is incredibly important because it makes it more accessible.
Remember, our department already has 2 online master's degrees.
That's right.
Do y'all think in-person is something that's wanted?
I think it is. I think it's very important. So I went to graduate school the old-fashioned way, where you had to like sit next to the other person. Now, of course, I went to graduate school in the Stone Ages, so there was no such thing as online back then. You didn't have a choice. And there's something to be said, just like now, about being in community and grappling with challenges. When you go to graduate school, it's higher level thinking, right? It's higher level challenges. By the way, I say challenges, not opportunities, because in graduate school, you're grappling with issues. You're grappling with concepts. And so I think that's incredibly important. Something we're looking at, too, is hybrid models. Now, we have some great programs now, like in political science. We're looking at hybrid models, where maybe you would do intensives. So, maybe you're living wherever you're living, you're working, you're going to graduate school, but you come back for an intensive couple of days. Other schools do this, and they do it really well. And so that's something that we're working on, thinking about as well. But I think there's a lot of opportunity there. We don't want to do online just to do online. We want to do it very thoughtfully and very strategically so that it has impact. If you want my opinion, come and sit next to each other in graduate school. I know what you're all thinking. You're like, Dr. Shannon, I got to get to work and I got to go to graduate school and just get after it. And it will elevate your ability to be effective. My experience. My experience. Well, thank you all. Those of you who walked in, welcome. I'm done now. Thank you for that. Have a nice day. No, thank you guys. I hope this was helpful. And listen, if you see me around or if there's anything I can be helpful with, president@ung.edu, send me an email. And I'd be happy to help you all any way I possibly can in anything y'all are doing. I'm here for you. So really proud of y'all. Keep studying this area. Remember what I started with. We need good, ethical, morally focused people to be able to do this work in the world that we're entering into. So please keep studying this stuff because we need it. We need it. So thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.